We live. Now I have to find it in here. Hey, I was like, that looks familiar.
I was just going to post on Facebook. 2 people. Hey, guys. Hope you're ready for a nice chat.
Hi, everybody. We're just posting the link a couple places so more people can join us. But thanks for tuning in with us today. Lots of highs in the comments.
I guess I have the link now. Wow, holy smokes. That's a lot of people.
Welcome, everybody. No, we do not have any snow, Conrad. It's so
rain.
Sad. We have rain and it's like plus 11. It's not a very Canadian Christmas, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's hit or miss for snow for us for Christmas. That's what we want, but I'd say we get it, what, 40% of the time?
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't happen often anymore.
No, it's extra special when we get snow for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I think I should... okay, you got the chat there. That's better. I don't like looking away to look at the chat. Or maybe you can read some stuff out.
You'll see me looking down a lot. I have my laptop here with the video up so I can... My eyes are not good enough to see the tiny comments on the screen. Show the hairline, Trevor.
Did someone say show the hairline?
Yeah.
Who said that? So
It's hard for me to find.
That's too funny. I have my hair's been the way it is for the, I mean, for anyone that cares, my hair's been the way it is for the last 10 years. It's not getting any worse. I styled my hair just because I'm always wearing a friggin' hat. And then I looked at it on camera. My hairline looked like it was starting at the halfway point of my head. And I was like, okay, hat it is. I have issues with my hairline.
That's okay.
So any of those dudes you see wearing baseball caps all the time, yeah, there's a good chance that they just don't like the way their hair looks. Mm-hmm. If they're like me.
Yeah. Someone said also about the hat.
Yeah.
Not bald.
No, I'm not. It's just, maybe it's just this, I don't know. It's my head. Something's wrong. It's just not right. It's just better with a hat. Actually, we have a friend that is bald who you will never see without a hat. He has to wear a hat. I'm not that bad.
There's lots of, yeah. Yes, it is morning. Well, it's kind of late morning.
Yeah,
it's about 11 o'clock
hour
here.
Away from lunch.
Yeah, getting into some hellos and some comments. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
Got some scopes behind us here.
Yeah.
We brought the poinsettias out. And my plants, I've been getting into plants. We get a lot of natural light in this house, and it's just the plant paradise. So we're up to like 8 now.
Yeah.
It's all me. I do all the watering. I do the...
Well, it's hard because if we both try, then it's like, did you water it today? Did I water it today? So There's
a lot of great plant YouTube channels too, doing cool stuff. Like, it's kind of cool to learn about new stuff. I guess that's what happens when you get old. You start getting into plants. And
somebody already asked about Rudy. This little white patch.
He's wrapped up.
Down on the floor there. That's Rudy. He's, this
lump.
There he is. Yeah. He's just snoozing next to us for now. We'll bring him on camera a little later for a little hello to everybody. How's the AM5 handling the big scope?
Good. Yeah. I haven't really tested the AM5. I saw someone yesterday with an Explore Scientific 127 refractor on theirs, and I think that's just over the weight limit. I wouldn't do that. There's no need to. But yeah, up to, like, I've got a 115 on there right now. And that's pretty good. I put a counterweight on there just to make myself feel better, but it did not need it. So, I mean, up to a 115 refractor, that's pretty decent.
Someone's asking if the Sea Star can capture the Witch Head Nebula. Do you know if that's within the...
So dark skies will really help because it's so faint. It's a reflection nebula. And the field of view, you're going to get a section of it. The Witch Head is huge. It's, in apparent size. So you'll just get a section of it. You could do a mosaic, but yeah, you can get a portion of the Witch Head with the right conditions. You wouldn't want to do that now with the moon all bright and everything. Sea Star, that's in the case. I should have set that up.
Yeah, it's in the case.
I might bring that over. I still can't. We talk about it at least once per day. We still can't get over the Sea Star package and how ridiculously priced it is for what's in there. Even the tripod should be $100.
Yeah.
I digress.
We're excited to bring that with us for the eclipse next year.
Yeah. So total solar eclipse, April 2024. Yeah. Man, that'll be here before you know it. So I hope you guys
have plans already.
I mean, we're behind in terms of like, I don't have a solar scope.
We haven't done any practicing with the solar filters.
White light solar photography, fine, no problem. Done that before, but nothing with like an H alpha scope or anything like that. So, but honestly, in my mind, we're more there we're speaking at an event. I just want to experience it. Getting the amazing photo of it comes, third in line to those two things to me.
Yeah, that's kind of why the Sea Star will be good. We can just have that kind of running in the background.
It's just automatic.
Just doing its own thing.
It's I thought of that from that documentary.
Yeah.
It's the fail safe. No matter what, the Sea Star will capture the event just on its own without us monitoring it. So someone said, thanks for all the videos this year. My pleasure. I counted in line at the McDonald's drive-thru the other day. 22 videos, I think we put out this year, 22 long form videos, which is almost 2 per month, which is kind of what I was aiming for. To be honest, I would like to do a video a week, and I think I can. It would just have to change the format to these monster videos that we've been putting out that take 40 hours. It's just not possible to do one of those a week.
No, it's either a 10-minute video every other week or a shorter video every week, which I think people would appreciate.
It could still be 10 minutes, but it would be like only a couple takes and like talking head sitting at the computer kind of video, not a whole journey. So, but that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk with you guys today, was to see what you liked about what we did this year and maybe what you would like to see for next year. I keep seeing it come up over and over and over again. People want to see a live stream, long form, just from setup to imaging, an entire night of astrophotography live stream. So it would be like 4 hours long. I'm down for doing it. The fear I have is that when the camera and telescope are running, just taking exposures, I guess it would just be us chatting, because there's really nothing going on, nothing exciting, as it's just collecting subs. But maybe that doesn't matter.
Travel for next year. Someone's asking about Cherry Springs. So Cherry Springs, we always plan to go every year. This coming year is maybe a bit different. So let's talk about where we are going. We are going to the Winter Star Party in Key West in Florida in February. So that'll be a first for us. We've never been to that star party before. So we're very much looking forward to leaving the Canadian winter to getting to some warmer temperatures for sure. So that'll be great. And then the solar eclipse, we're going to actually travel to New Brunswick for that. They're hosting an event. We'll be speaking there. There's also like an Astronomy East trade show that's happening, kind of not as part of the event we're going to, but the same organizers. So we'll be there as well. And there's another potential travel that we can't talk about yet because the event actually hasn't been announced publicly yet. So that particular event might impact our ability to go to Cherry Springs, but we'll see. We will do everything we can to get to Cherry Springs. What
is the longest exposure time? I think I got up to about 18, 19 hours this year on the Garlic Head Nebula. And for that target, I still feel like it wasn't enough. Or, at the nights that I imaged wasn't the greatest sky. So I think 40 hours might have done that target justice. But I do like getting into the long exposure stuff. Broken record, I just don't have the skies to do more than 10. Like I might get 15 hours in 3 months on a target. Like it's just, I don't have the skies for it. I saw Galactic Hunter did, what was it? Over 30 hours on the Embryo Nebula in Bortle 1. Like they can have that. I can't, there's no way we can do that kind of stuff
touch that here.
No. Actually, I just reposted a 96-hour exposure of the Cygnus region. That was incredible. Oh, wow. Hunter, thank you. Thanks for the adventures, entertainment, doing some DSLR stuff. And finally got my CSAR in the mail. Awesome. Well, that's really great to hear. I'm so glad you enjoy the adventures and entertainment. Those are our favorite types of videos to do when we take you along with us and do something cool, travel somewhere cool, meet some people. The life of an astrophotographer. Yeah, I think kind of that's what we have to offer for this channel that's different. There's so many astrophotography channels. I swear I see 5 new astrophotography channels every day. And a lot of them have just incredible information. And I watch those videos to learn more about PixInsight or learn more about the latest tools available. Our strengths are more of the life of an astrophotographer and hopefully a relatable situation for a lot of you guys. But yeah, that's one of the things one of my goals for next year is to really kind of stay on top of all the latest tools available. More experience with PixInsight, more experience with some of the new tools like Graxpert and Blur Exterminator and all Russ Croman stuff. So there's
maybe Cyril.
More on Cyril. I really do like Cyril, but I didn't touch it enough this year. So Pleiades under a Bortle 2 sky. Bortle 3 and no, Bortle 2. Yeah, I've shot it at Bortle 2 and Bortle 3, and it's pretty breathtaking. That's when you get all the surrounding dust. A nice wide field look at Pleiades really shines if you're capturing it under dark skies, because Taurus is just full of dust. Special video about the AM5. Just bought mine of clouds. Wanting to Astro Front Yard. Yeah, I mean the AM5. I never did a video titled AM5 review or whatever, but the AM5 was featured in maybe a dozen videos this year. I almost got to the point where I thought, okay, people have seen it enough. I need to showcase something else. But yeah. I loved the AM5 so much. And the AM3 has been getting used too. And we haven't really talked about it a lot on the channel, but that'll be traveling with us, right? Next year. Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought we had it good with the AM5 for travel, but yeah, AM3 is that much better.
Oh, Dylan. Thank you, Dylan.
Oh, wow.
It was so great to finally meet you at Starfest.
I especially enjoyed our talk about drumming and listening to some of your recordings on guitar too. Super talented. And your rig, obviously.
The rig, yeah, I remember
one of the few RC telescopes on the field at Starfest. So are we doing Starfest next year or we can't?
That will also depend. Yeah.
Did you say the Winter Star Party?
Yes.
Yeah, Winter Star Party. That's coming up. I can't wait for that one. So February in Key West, scopes on the beach.
Yeah. So if anybody's there.
Jace, you guys inspired me so much. Continue to give us. I'll give Rudy a treat. We will.
Oh, thanks, Jace.
Thanks so much, Jace. And speaking of that, so we did this last year, and I guess we've done it every year. So the super chat money, we'll donate that to the animal shelter where we got Rudy, and we'll match it whatever we make on here. So it ended up being like $1,000 last year total.
Yeah, last year we had 500 in super chats, and so we put 500 in and donated that to the shelter where we got Rudy. So that was great.
Like, how much do we need to donate there to get like a plaque or something? Like, Rudy, even like Rudy's bench or something.
I don't know.
Or like maybe they could dedicate his cage that we got him in. I don't know. I want Rudy's mark on that place. He's kind of a big deal. Christmas tree nebula.
Do you have a favorite telescope, Trevor?
So it's like for telescopes, it's always like my favorite current telescope, which one I'm kind of into at the moment. My favorite telescope overall is actually outside under a 365 cover. My favorite telescope overall is the Esprit 150 6-inch triplet apo refractor. I mean, I'm sure you understand that. My favorite current telescope is Steve's from Ontario Telescope, the Starfield 115 on the AM5. Man, it's really messing with me. That's my favorite current telescope just because it's at a really practical focal length.
Mm-hmm.
It's still kind of light, easy to use. I got the spacing all sorted out. Really like that scope. Optics are amazing. Yeah.
I really like using the small refractors, but I really enjoy using the Esprit 100. It's so versatile for like nice and tight.
Yeah, your best shots have come out of that one.
Yeah, that with the EQ6.
I like the Red Cat 61 was a lot of fun this year. Mm-hmm. It's kind of having all these scopes to demo and test and use. It's kind of not fair that how limited the amount of clear sky time there is to use them. It's like I got to pick one, and we do run multiple sometimes, but yeah, and they're all kind of just in limbo. I don't know what the future holds for some of this gear. If it's been sitting too long, it'll be, contacting the company to say, what do you want? Do you want us to ship it back? Do you want to do a giveaway? Mm-hmm. Whatever. Okay.
John, thank you, John. I did touch on Cherry Springs. We're up in the air. We're gonna try, but it's one of our favorite star parties, and we will try to be there.
I don't understand the point of spamming the chat.
A-Liner Adventures, thank you for the Merry Christmas and the super chat. That's very kind.
Dobsonian Power. I like your profile image there, Brian.
And Jace again. Thank you, Jace. Would you recommend an EQ6R Pro for a first mount?
Absolutely. Probably the best choice you can make. It's like future-proof. It can hold up to like a 132 refractor. It's bulletproof. It's great in all weather. You can use it with the ASI Air. The tracking's incredible. You really can't go. The EQ6R is one of the few items that's like untouchable. I'm trying to think of one downfall of it, because like even the Esprit 150, my favorite telescope, the focuser isn't great. So like everything has something that's a little wrong with it. But
and the imaging train too is a bit tricky on the 150.
Yeah, it's long and kind of annoying. The EQ6, I'm struggling to find something wrong with it. And again, thank you, John, A-Liner, and Jace. Hopefully you feel good about going forward with the EQ6 after that.
We don't still have the Explorer Scientific ED80, right?
Oh, 3D. Thank you, buddy. 3D Astro for Rudy, for the goodest boy. We'll hopefully be having a beer soon. Oh, cool. Cosmo Guy processed an image of the Sol Nebula. That was taken years ago with the Canon T3i, but I put the image data available online for them to practice processing. It was actually, it wasn't the worst data in the world. It's from Bortle 8 with the light pollution filter, but that was cool. And I see Ryan in there. Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that that you notice the editing. You know what it's like to be on the other side of the computer screen there. Is there any easy way to polar align it in the southern? It's more difficult to polar align in the southern hemisphere, but there's lots of ways around that. There's drift alignment, which is using stars, towards the south celestial pole, as a reference to polar align. Electronically assisted polar alignment tools like the one in the ASI Air make it so much easier. What was it? The iPolar. What's the QHY one? Polemaster.
Polemaster.
Sharp Cap has a tool. There's so many ways. What I will say, just for a quick setup, it's annoying that you guys don't have a super bright star right near the pole like we do in the north, where you could just do it on your star tracker in 5 minutes. It's just the way it is. But I mean, your skies have so much more interesting stuff in it too. So I guess it all evens out.
A couple of questions about what scope would you recommend for a long focal length? It looks like an AM5 mount.
Cool.
Maybe for both.
Like how long are we talking?
Well,
over 1,000, I'm guessing.
I mean, if they're looking to keep it on an AM5.
Long focal length, AM5. Okay. Yeah, so obviously the AM5 is going to limit, long focal length usually means a heavier, bigger scope. So you'll be limited there. And then you said the 294. So I think the big thing, and if this is the Astro front yard, I think it is, the big thing, and you probably already know this, the image scale for that sensor, you're going to want to get something that matches up nicely with that 294 sensor. What is the pixel size on that one? Is it 3.76? It might be. It might be the same as the 533. Anyway, get something that's a good match in terms of image scale. And if it were me, I would probably just do the biggest refractor I could get to get you in the 1,000 millimeter range, but that's not exactly long if you're looking at like 2,800 millimeters or something from like an Edge 11. Mm-hmm. And I would not put an Edge 11 on an AM5. And even the 8, I guess people are doing that. But for the record, I didn't tell you to do that because I could just picture that the whole thing going over.
Yeah. Someone else had kind of a similar question. AM5 longer focal length.
Yeah, there's no posting something 60 times in the chat. If anything, we won't read it if you do that because that just ruins it for everyone. And in all caps. Maybe these are bots. This doesn't seem like something a human would do. I feel like a school teacher putting you in a timeout. It just takes away from what we're trying to do here. Upgrade a stock DSLR or go for auto guiding? Oh, that's a great question. You're kind of in that spot. Auto guiding. I would do auto guiding before modifying. Yeah, you're going to see, for certain targets, you're going to see a big difference with a modified camera. But you can do that later, and you'll probably get a dedicated astronomy camera at some point. Get that auto guiding sorted out, and then you can shoot broadband targets. Get some nice long exposures and sharp stars at longer focal lengths. Yeah, auto guiding before astromodding. Definitely. Holy smokes, Dave.
Thanks,
Thank
David.
you.
Astro World TV community.
Oh, that's awesome. Slumming with us. That was so much fun. What a great community that is. And impressive to get everyone together like that for a day, for a big stream. That kind of stuff, actually, we were in quite a few, streams and talks and stuff this year, but it's so much fun. Like, obviously AstroBackyard is what we do for a living, but like that kind of stuff is just fun to do. So more of that would be great. And I really like hosting an event like that freaks me out, especially when it's live.
Oh my goodness.
It's so hard to, put out a really polished presentation when there's so many moving parts. So
like when Skywatcher did their,
what was it? Like 12 hours?
It was like, oh yeah.
And it was all,
it went so well.
Simon behind the scenes sweating, making sure it all went well. So thank you, David. And yeah, that's great. Looking forward to seeing what Astro World TV does in 2024.
Northern Ontario, wondering if we ever go. So we just, I can't remember which video, what the title it was, but it was the Airbnb we recently went to in November. That was Northern Ontario. in Bruce Peninsula. And so not all the way up to Manitoulin Island, but around there. And so that was a nice site to travel to. The skies were pretty dark up there. But we'd like to get to Manitoulin one day.
Yeah, that's funny. I did actually answer the one spammers question, but they kept asking. Stationary tripod. That was on my list for this year to attempt that. So for the best result, it is a challenge. And I think we can commit to that for next year to do the stationary deep sky object challenge, taking 2-second exposures. That will have to be done somewhere dark. It's going to be really underwhelming results from the city. But it's a great idea. I like that. I like that because that uses stuff that people, the average person has. Most people don't have a star tracker or a tracking mount. Okay, so the dovetail clamp on the EQ6 can secure enough, but not engineered well. Okay, so there, Phil has a bone to pick with the EQ6. The dovetail, yeah, okay, yeah, those, I mean, I feel like it's pretty secure. I guess the only thing is there's no stop on the bolts. So if you loosen it too much, they'll just come right out.
I think I've done that before.
You've done it, yeah. There you go. See, nothing's, there's no perfect piece of gear. Cosmos guy. I'm glad to hear that. That's the whole point of AstroBackyard. So if you saw the latest video, taking a picture of the Orion Nebula with a DSLR camera and a lens and a tracker, it's like, that's not what I'm doing as an astrophotographer, my progress, right? Like I'm doing more advanced stuff, but what help is that to people just getting into the hobby, right? It's, you know, I always want to be that entry point into astrophotography. So I'll try to continue creating content that helps that crowd.
Frosty Attic, thank you. It looks like he's got a question. He or she has a question. Currently have RC51 EQ6.
Yeah.
Recommended scope to shoot smaller DSOs.
Cool. And that's a separate one there. So yeah, the Red Cat 51 at 250 millimeter. Galaxies and small DSOs are going to be very small. So an EQ6, my goodness, you could put, you know, a lot on there. Again, I'm a refractor guy. I would probably say, and the prices for the some of those ASCAR larger scopes, I'd probably look into a refractor in, you know, over 100 millimeters. That would, then you're into 500 plus. If once you get into 700, 800 millimeter focal length, yeah, those galaxies get a lot bigger, and there's a lot you can do with that. I mean, my main favorite galaxy scope shoots at 1050 millimeter, and that's more than enough for like the medium sized ones. So with that mount, I'd probably look at a refractor in the 800 millimeter focal length range. And if you wanted to do the SCT route, like a Celestron C8, those are great for galaxies, but heavier, way more focal length. And the thing about those is that if you're used to a refractor like the Red Cat, going to F10 is it's a big change. So I'd look at maybe like that ASCAR 103 or something like that.
Finn TGM, thank you. He also has a William Optics GT71. Found dust between the ED glass. Is it still fine to use? Should he take it apart?
Which scope was it?
The William Optics GT71.
Dust between the glass. Yeah, I wouldn't. What was the question? To
is it still
fine?
Fine
Oh yes, no, do not. So do not take it apart. Refractors aren't like reflectors where you can kind of tinker with stuff. You really need a professional to because if those lenses get misaligned at all, then you really can't use it. A little bit of dust. Being in this hobby for as long as I have, the more I read about dust, whether it's on a mirror or on glass, it's like it makes a 0.1% difference. So I know it probably bothers you to look at, but you're going to do way more harm by taking it apart and trying to clean it. I wouldn't worry about that dust. It's annoying. I saw someone with mold underneath the objective lens of their refractor of a red
Oh,
cap.
wow.
That's a very specific conditions for that to occur.
Mm-hmm.
And then the responses I saw for fixing it were like, you're going to need to send that in for someone to fix it, and that's not going to be cheap.
Any tips around how to get rid of walking noise?
Dither.
There you go.
Yeah. So dithering, if you're auto guiding, is super easy because whatever auto guiding system you're using, you just check off dithering and it will do that image shift between each exposure. And if you're not auto guiding, you can do it manually by just shifting the image frame every once in a while. And the more you do that, the better it's going to be. But just for example, my last project on Orion, I did some manual dithering. I probably shifted it like 4 times throughout these 90 exposures. It helped a lot with walking noise, but it was still there. And you kind of forget about that whole symptom when you've been auto guiding for a while. But yeah, so manually dither, or better yet, with auto guiding would be best.
Any recommendations on a dedicated non-cooled Astro camera? He has the 533, building a second rig.
Non-cooled?
Says non-cooled.
Yeah. So okay. Well, you're going the 533, and so you've got your cooled camera. I don't for non-cooled. You don't. That's almost. I mean, that's going backwards unless you're doing like planetary imaging where you don't need it. But so the 533 is great, but if you're looking to go a step up from there, if it's the color you're using, the one camera I really wish we had that we don't is the color version of the 2600. The 2600 MC Pro is an APS-C crop sensor one-shot color camera. So yeah, if you've outgrown the 533, look into the 2600 MC Pro from ASI. And I'm not biased towards ZWO. It's just what I happen to use, so I can tell you that it's good. But there's obviously the QHY versions and Player One as well. Have not used one, but only heard good things. A lot of the same sensors. I guess all the same sensors, and these just done in a different package. Mary Crimbo from the UK. The Astro Numpty. Thank you very much. And Michael, did you see that one?
I was just.
We're not there yet?
I'm a little behind.
Okay, Cottage and Bortle 2 Skies near Perry Sound.
Ooh.
Oh, sounds good to me.
Sounds like a dream.
Oh boy, no, RGB for sure. Everything. So you can add narrowband data, which you should only be capturing during like when the moon is out from a Bortle 2. But yeah, just appreciate and enjoy those pristine Bortle 2 skies and capture broadband light in whatever project. Even if it's an emission nebula, you're going to get those natural star colors, and you'll get all the best bits by shooting broadband RGB from Bortle 2 skies. Where narrowband comes in, the moon is out, add some H alpha to your nebula project, or I mean, even galaxies you can add H alpha to. If you really like that show palette and look, obviously do that, but do it when the moon is out and soak every photon you can in RGB on those moonless nights. Props to Rudy. Yeah. Thank you, the Astro Numpty.
Thank you to everyone for all the Merry Christmases and Happy Holidays in the comments. We obviously wish everyone the same.
Taylor, yes, you can. So I tried to make the guide not following a specific step-by-step process that only applies to certain things. There's little golden nuggets of information you can use to process those C-star images. And it's not like, do you know if you're getting it for Christmas yet? Because we're getting close, and I think it was still up in the air whether you were getting or not.
Yeah.
I hope you do.
She did get her image processing guide.
No, I saw the guide.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, all those things apply to those images too. So I mean, whether it's minimizing star size, the color balancing and saturation, all those things can be applied to images you take on the sea star.
It sounds like people are getting telescopes for Christmas, which is pretty exciting. Someone got an Apertura, it's still in the box because of clouds.
Nice. Which one did he
It's a
say?
10.
10.
10. I think it was a 10-inch.
Oh, okay. The
Like a Dob.
Dob.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you control your mount with the ASI Air using foam and capturing Jupiter with? Yeah, so that was a bit weird because I was using.
Is this DSW? Is that the question?
Yes. Yeah. So I was using 2 different softwares, and it was a bit unorthodox because if you're using the ASI Air to, I wasn't controlling the mount with the ASI Air. I was just controlling. What the heck? Did I swap out the camera? I'm really getting confused, but I know what you're talking about. So basically, fire capture is better for capturing planets than the planetary mode on the ASI Air. What the heck was I using the ASI Air for?
I remember the situation.
It was a very unorthodox way of doing things. I'd have to get back to you about that. But I remember thinking I was pretty clever for doing it. It was like I was trying to use the both. Oh, if I was doing it on the EQ, I was thinking of the Dob. If it was on the EQ8 mount, I was using the plate solving and sky pointing of the ASI Air just to get me to the planet. And then once I was there and it was tracking, I swapped over the cables to fire capture on my laptop to start imaging it, rather than it just saved time lining up the planet up. I think that's what I did. But yeah, most people would kind of do one or the other. But yeah, I'm sure that was super unhelpful and confusing, but caught me off guard.
I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong.
Deus Vult Exitum.
Yes.
What would you recommend as an ideal starting setup for someone who is mirrorless to photograph nebula? Yeah, I try to. That content type is one that I really try to focus on, and I certainly will do a beginner setup. It's always evolving, so the same answer kind of changes as new stuff comes out. So just based on that, with a mirrorless camera, Star Adventure GTI, Star Tracker, not crazy expensive. Go-to. It's like a Star Tracker 2.0, basically. Is historically, I would just say a Star Tracker, but now the GTI has go-to functionality, and then yeah, your mirrorless camera is going to be great. Use a lens. Any lenses you have, usually people that have cameras like that will have a nice either zoom lens or telephoto lens, and yeah, from there, if you're ready to upgrade, look into small refractors, something like the Red Cat. And then you'll fall deep into the depths of the rabbit hole, as we all have, and you can blame me for it.
Christo, yeah, weather has also sucked in Canada this year. It seemed to have been particularly worse than usual. I mean,
so what was worse this year was the smoke. And it's like even 5 years ago, there was no smoke, like once in a while, but now it's like, okay, as soon as spring is over and the rain is gone, the smoke comes to fill in the gap.
Yeah.
The smoke is a killer.
Plans for the garage. So we do have plans for this space. I feel like it's going to take us a while to figure out.
We said that last year. Nothing's changed.
Nothing has changed. No progress has been made. We do have plans to, if you were here last year, you would have heard us talk about finishing out the bar that's in the back corner. It's kind of roughed in lighting wise, putting in a little lounge space, getting some storage units for all of this stuff.
Actual storage.
It will take time, I think, for us to get it exactly how we want it.
Yeah, we had to put in, we spent a lot of money on fences since we've moved in. There was no fence at the back of the property, so we had to completely fence that in, obviously for Rudy. And then the big wooden fence that it's a long property, we had to get that fixed too. So that was a huge expense that we weren't really expecting. But that's what happens when you know, for anyone that's been in a house for a year, you know that your things pop up. You're just figuring it out, and you know, over time we'll get it the way we want it. But yeah, still so much to do.
Yeah.
Ask our 300. Is that the 300 millimeter? Yeah, that looks good. I really like the Petzval astrographs, where you don't have to worry about back spacing. Once you get used to that, it's like, yeah, no reducers, and yeah.
Chris is very observant. He says, I bet Ash has no shoes on now. She seems to be barefoot a lot. I have socks on.
Only because it's
Only
winter.
because it's cold, but I actually hate wearing socks. So I'm usually, if it's summertime, between like when the weather starts to warm up to when the weather starts to get cooler, no socks.
I like to be barefoot myself.
Yeah. But right now it's slipper territory.
Tad, the observatory is still in storage. It's been there for over a year. I don't think the dome is not going up. We haven't put concrete in the ground to put in. We just need to figure it out, what we're doing with that. But for the time being, the Black Dog Observatory, the Sky Shed Pod, is not going up. Not because there was anything wrong with the observatory itself. I miss it like crazy. It's just the layout of our yard and the situation we have now with the garage door and the concrete patio. It would be a bit of a stretch to have the observatory. We need it less at this house than we did before.
Yeah, our last house, like the garage was such a pain for you to get equipment out of that little man door. And
it just wasn't working.
It was nice just to have that ready to go. But with this huge garage door at the back, you can just walk your gear right out with no issues.
And if I was a regular astrophotographer with one, okay, I got my observatory, my scope, and I just want it all set up, that would be fine. But because I want to create content around helpful information, me flicking a switch and saying, well, I'm in the observatory again, like,
well, not just that, but you're using new setups like
so I'd be
every
swapping
night.
Out cameras and telescopes.
So the gear you'd be shooting for a video would be on the patio anyway. The observatory would just be for data for you, really.
So we'll see.
So.
But I miss it. I miss it so much. And now the Sky Shed Pod has the Pod S with the new style dome, which looks incredible. So I know a lot of people will be getting those. I know TJ Connolly is getting one, and I know he's really excited about it. He's driving up to the factory to pick it up.
Oh, wow.
I almost said, like, stop by on your way, because he's in upstate New York, so he's just over the river.
Roman Swans, can I use a dwarf to see Jupiter or Saturn? Thank you.
Yes,
Roman.
You can see it. It really wasn't meant for small objects like that. I don't know what the focal length and image scale is on the dwarf 2. I think it's probably kind of similar to the Sea Star, and if it is, the Jupiter is going to be really small. When it's overexposed, you'll see the Galilean moons of it too, so which is kind of cool, kind of similar to an eyepiece view, but nothing super up close. To really get in close to Jupiter, you need long focal lengths, and that small telescope is better at the larger wide field stuff. But you can certainly see it, and Saturn for that matter. Built-in flatteners, yeah. Big fan. Plane wave PUW 1000. Is it really 600 grand? Yeah, the plane waves are like the monster.
Yeah.
Like the 24 inches and
we saw a bunch
nuts.
In Texas at that observatory.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We didn't really.
I've touched one.
We didn't show it in the video, but we went to this private observatory where you could rent space to do remote imaging, and it was insane.
It might as well have been a garage with Lamborghinis in it. Like these telescopes were Hundreds of
Insane.
thousands of dollars.
So many plane waves.
Yeah.
Yes, our dog is named Rudolph, and it is after the reindeer. I'm sure people have heard the story before, but he was rescued from Louisiana around Christmas time with his 8 siblings. And so they were all named after reindeer. And Rudy made his way to Canada for us to be able to adopt him here. So Christmas is definitely his holiday.
Hi, Keith. Morning. Merry Christmas. Always glad to see you out. You've been a longtime follower, and I really appreciate it. Astro Canuck. There's trips. This is your AM3. Merry Christmas. Awesome. AM3. Very cool. Big fan of the direction that astrophotography gear has went in the last few years. More compact, better for travel. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Astromaster EQ motor drive telescope. Good choice for visual observation. Sure, yeah, that'll be great for the moon, planets. You might get flack on people talking about that. Be like, oh well, it's not the best telescope in the world. It's also one of the cheapest, and there's a reason for it. So for your purposes, it'll work just fine for visual. Maybe you want to upgrade some of those eyepieces. Get like a 32 millimeter eyepiece. Wide field, and yeah, look at Pleiades, look at Orion, look at all these great winter targets through that scope. And for visual, it'd be great. My first telescope that I had an incredible time with, got me hooked in the hobby, was a 4.5-inch Dob. Just tiny little thing. Loved it. You got to start somewhere. Mm-hmm. So it's a very decent starter scope. Show us your Christmas decoration.
Oh, just bought an 8-inch Dob for my sons. Can't believe what I've been missing out on all these years using a smaller telescope.
Yes.
That's fun. Yeah.
It's interesting when you see those charts of how much more you can see as the sizes go up. It's like an 8-inch over a 6-inch is like you see like 75% more. It's crazy.
Yeah. I remember looking through is that a 10 or an 8? Our aperture, it's an 8?
It's an 8.
An 8 to the 14.
Yes.
It's like, oh my goodness.
Oh, the 14's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see it. Yeah, that thing's a beast. Yeah, that's a 2-man job to move that. And it's one of the few items that I just can't. Oh no, I can drag it. Well, I can drag it outside. It's that base. It's not that it's only whatever 100 pounds, but it's so huge. There's no good way.
Also, the weight is very lopsided.
Yeah,
because the
electronics.
You can see the electronic part on the outside there.
So I have to.
Nico.
Is he there?
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Nico.
Glad to see the walls went up in the observatory. So you're going to need a roof with this winter coming in. So that's next up. I hope that comes soon. I'm so excited to see your progress in there. And it was incredible for people that saw that Nico came here, which was like really surreal because just like you guys, we're a fan. We usually just see our faces
online
on screen.
Yeah.
So to be, hanging out real life was a real thrill. And we had, I'd like to say we had a pretty darn good time.
Yeah.
We didn't get a lot of time together, but we made the most of it. I just said yesterday, Nico, I'm sorry we forgot to bring the accordion out because you mentioned it seemed like you wanted to play it. Ashley's uncle played the accordion. We have one in the house and Nico seemed interested and I forgot to bust it back out.
Yeah, that would have been interesting to see for sure.
And
some good content.
Great for content, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Off to the pub with the wife.
Very nice. That sounds great.
Sounds good, Simon.
Enjoy, Simon.
Happy holidays. After Pride. But it was a button style, so it's extra challenging.
That's right. Greetings, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Vincent. Pix and Site tutorials.
Yeah, so there's a lot I can show now for the ways I use Pix and Sight that are really working for me. I just have this thing in my head. There's so many experts in Pix and Sight. I want to make sure that when I start doing that, that I'm actually adding something to the conversation and not just rehashing, the little things that I've learned. I felt that with Photoshop because I was so comfortable with it. Pix and Sight, or maybe you just want to see, how I deliver that information. So yeah, there's no way around it. I'm gonna have to be talking about Pix and Sight these days. And Pix and Sight isn't the way it used to be 5 years ago. There's so many scripts and mods that people are doing to turn these really complex things into kind of one-click actions. So
Adam Block is mentioned in the comments.
oh yeah.
As a pro.
Exactly. So if you can watch me talk about Pix and Sight or Adam Block or Sean or all these great channels like
W. Jeffrey, my
Probably wanna
astrophotography
watch
is
those
enhanced by the button accordion playing. Well, there you go.
yeah. There you go. Of course, Brent.
Binoculars. Do you have any binoculars to recommend for deep sky objects? We don't really. We have what are they?
The Celestron 15 by 70s. So a big aperture. Those are incredible to look through, especially if you're under dark skies. But if you've never looked through like a big honking pair of binoculars before, like a 70 millimeter objective, two of them, two little mini telescopes, I mean, bigger than the Red Cat. It's crazy to look through those and you get that 3D look. I mean, just scan through the sky near Orion with a big pair of binoculars. Oh my goodness, it's an experience. Your arms get tired, but hold them near the very end and then kind of press it up against your face. I love looking at the sky with binoculars. Almost, it rivals, a nice big telescope.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Welcome, Sean.
Thanks,
New
Sean.
member. Thank
Appreciate
you.
that.
Yeah, that's great. Budget telescope for the GTI.
For the GTI, okay, so yeah, you're limited to, 14 pounds? I wouldn't, about 60 millimeters is the most you'll get. So the Red Cat 61 is a good match for it. That's right at the limits of weight because that's a pretty stocky little refractor. But you don't have to get that one. That's kind of a deluxe 60 millimeter refractor. Any of the 60 millimeter imaging APOs, there's tons of them. Yeah, whether it's a William Optics or Apertura or ASCAR or any of those, get a 60 millimeter refractor, and then you're around the 250 to 300 millimeter range, shooting at like f4.5 or f5. There's so much you can do with that, except planets.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely worth it to get a 6-inch a 6-inch refractor for visual use. My goodness. Yeah, I mean, you're going to get some serious views with a 6-inch refractor. Did it say refractor or reflector?
I thought it said refractor.
Yeah, so the Esprit 150 is a refractor, and my God, the view is like jaw-dropping. All right. Yeah, it must be bots. How do they? I don't know how that works.
Get over it.
How does that work? Gregory,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very kind.
Happy holidays. I hope that at least one video of the 22 that came out this year was helpful to you, helped you kind of learn a little bit more, or at least just appreciate the night sky a little bit more. We've got about 10 minutes left.
Yeah, lots of people I've seen some people tuning in from down south where it's already Christmas Day. So
oh wow,
that's very nice.
Okay,
Merry Christmas from
so
Warsaw.
He had a question in the super chat. Just go up. No, don't.
You told me to go up, so I went up.
So, Trevor, if you have the choice between PlaneWave 14 and SCT 14, what would you choose? I think so. Cost aside, I would probably I would look at that F ratio. I'd probably go for the faster scope in the case of those two. I don't know what the specs are on those, but I'd want the faster of the two. I assume the SCT is going to be slower, so I'd probably do with the PlaneWave. I'm really not experienced with CDKs and RCs and all those, larger kind of high-end scopes. But I mean, aperture is aperture. Look at, just again to Galactic Hunter. Have you seen the shot, the Embryo Nebula?
I think, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
So not only was it Bortle 1 in 30 hours, he's shooting at f2.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, it's crazy. It was a RASA shooting at f2.
Oh,
I see that, Raphael.
thanks, Raphael.
So you got to process your Flaming Star today and share it.
So I seem to be really bad at following up on my data after I capture it.
She takes it and then just walks away.
I think it's because processing is harder for me. So it's one of those things that I kind of put off. But I do want to I should do at least 2 more of my images before the end of the year. I'd like to do my Flaming Star, and I did Sator region.
Mm-hmm.
So
which you can't post now. That's out of season.
Well, yeah, I guess. But yeah, thank you, Raphael. It's great seeing lots of women enter the hobby as well. Thanks, Matthew. I that will get posted before the end of the year, my Flaming Star.
We're getting overrun, so we'll...
Oh, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, for those of you who've tuned in multiple years in a row, this is kind of turned into an annual tradition that we do now. This is what, our 4th one maybe, or fifth time doing a live stream on Christmas Eve. It's just so nice to do it close to the holidays, and everybody's kind of done work and for the most part, and just enjoying their time off.
TQ, thank you so much for that. I love the fact that I inspire a younger audience to get into astronomy and astrophotography, but for the wiser people that have been doing it longer than I have, to know that you're actually watching means so much to me. I really value your opinion, so thank you.
That's very nice.
Vespera Pro. Which one is that? That's another smart telescope, isn't it?
Yeah, it's another Vionis.
The thing with the smart telescopes is that a lot of the value for my take is not so much a specific model, because a lot of them are very similar. It's more of the idea of a smart telescope. So I think a lot of the same thoughts we have on the C-Star, you could apply to whichever one you have.
Or the other one that Vionis made that we did
Yeah. No, the Stellina.
Stellina.
So the thing about the Stellina, that was the only other smart telescope we did. That one was $5,000, I think.
And this one's
500. And in what, 2 years?
Yeah.
And they do the same thing. And the C-Star. I mean, so that's 2 years. A lot can happen in 2 years.
Yeah. It just...
And nothing against
Vionis, but it using this $5,000 piece of equipment sitting so low, like if just knocking, we did bring it to an outreach event, and I was just very nervous about.
There was children they wanted to touch it,
and they wanted, because it's a robot, they wanted to touch it, and
we were terrified.
I was very nervous. Whereas like the C-Star, it's like I feel like it's less breakable. It's still fragile.
It's just as breakable, but you worry about it less, maybe because it's a $500 item. But still, I mean, like that's any telescope though, right? Like you get little kids around with it. It's like, don't touch it.
But this like that hard plastic white exterior too. It just, yeah.
For anyone that's went to an outreach event and showing kids scopes, they want to grab on.
Yeah.
They want to grab on to the mirror. They want to touch it, and they want to.
They've never been around it before, right?
Yeah. There's something about a scope.
Thank you, AstroStock. Very kind.
Another nice that's a popular profile photo, the horse head. I mean,
yeah.
I certainly didn't invent it. I just try to stay consistent with it.
Oh, how do we decide which star parties we visit? That's a good question. Sometimes it's just knocking off new ones every once in a while. New Mexico, Enchanted Skies Star Party. I feel like I heard about that when we were at
Oh yeah.
TSP.
What time of year is that one?
Oh, I think I lost the comment now.
I mean, we were in New Mexico for 15 minutes.
Yeah, we got gas in New Mexico.
We filled up our rental car in New Mexico.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to go back. That's an area of the country I'm a fan of.
Oh, Brent Okie-Tex. Yeah, we
Mhm.
did that one.
Yeah,
It was amazing.
Where were you? Supposed to have the meetup. You were a no-show.
Yeah. I feel like we at least have to get Rudy.
I can hear him snoring.
He's snoring down there, but I feel like I have to at least wake him up, don't I?
Yeah, you can wake him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got 4 minutes to get Rudy.
Okay.
Did you really? Good for you if you're being serious, Brent. Much respect, buddy.
Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Yeah, everybody wants to say hi. Come here. I know, you're sleepy boy.
Seriously, that's I couldn't do it, so.
Okay.
Daryl, thank you.
Okay, he's stretching, but he's
Really
okay.
really appreciate that, Daryl. Our boy is 9 years old.
Oh, come here.
It's like he went from a puppy to an old man overnight.
Okay, sit.
But
There we go. There's people that want to see you.
You're sleepy, eh, bud? My telescope boy.
Yeah.
He's still
I legit thought you had a child. No children.
No. So
just him.
on a night of imaging, he sees the garage door open up, the scope go out, and he wants to stay out there. He'll stay out with me the entire time. It's just what he knows and loves. He'll stand there shivering because he's just in the cold because he wants to be with me out there.
And then we make him go inside.
And a nice benefit, when he hears me talking loud to the camera and recording something, he starts getting rambunctious and running around, which, I try to capture for the video.
Yeah.
So it's the only life he knows, and he loves it.
Yeah. Oh, he's fighting to
binge Starfield. Oh, I can't wait to play it tomorrow. Xbox Series X. Finally, I had to convince Ash to get me an Xbox Series X for Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
Because I'm like a 13-year-old that's wants to play video games. But
and the S was just not.
No, it's
enough.
like you don't want to get a Star Tracker if you have a large scope and you're ready you got to future proof. So I got the Series X. It should be good for another 6 months before the next system comes out.
Thanks, Daryl. Did you catch Daryl?
No.
Thanks, Daryl.
He does have a doggy coat.
Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah, Daryl.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I did get that one.
He's the one we're connecting with in the new year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, I've played it on Game Pass, but it's not. I just want the better graphics. And you know what? Yeah, I don't want to get into a video game talk, but it's so popular for people to dog on Starfield, saying it's just Skyrim in space. Which, first of all, that's a good thing, and two, yeah, it is what it is. It's a Bethesda game. Like, I'm not expecting it to be anything other than what it is. The conversations, the dialogue, the feeling, the music. That game is incredibly good. People, yeah. Starfield is sick in my book. 9 out of 10. If Skyrim's a 10, Starfield's so Starfield's an 8.8. It's not a 6. But I'm gonna replay Skyrim on the Series X with the improved 4K, and I'm so excited.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, enough video games. We got a minute left.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up.
We are gonna head out. If you remember from last year, we usually do a lunch on Christmas Eve before.
Last year was a bad storm.
It was really stormy so we didn't have a white Christmas last year. But yeah, we do a Christmas lunch today, and then we head usually to my mom's later this evening after we open we do our presents to each other.
I get it today.
You get it today.
I just can't.
But you can't do anything
set it
until
up.
tomorrow.
Oh my God.
So, and then I get my gift, which you'll have to stay tuned because I know what my gift
So
is too.
her gift is very Astro related.
Yeah.
And should we say it just because it's ridiculous?
I mean, you can if you want.
We have
Oh, I hope
so
it came out
many,
this time.
she knows what she's getting. We have so many bags and backpacks, which of course we need, right? We're getting on airplanes with star trackers and everything. We already have 4 high quality camera bags.
No, backpacks,
Yeah,
not camera bags.
Okay, whatever. Backpack / camera bags. We have 4 amazing ones, including the Polar Pro one is like insane. I mean, it's a little
That's
too
half
big.
my body though. It's huge.
But that's not enough. She wanted another camera bag, the same one I use, the Peter McKinnon peaked, is it? Nomadic camera bag, which is crazy expensive, but it's really an incredible bag. So now we have 2 of those Peter McKinnon bags. I have one, she has one, and then we have all these other ones too. It's insane.
We can get rid of the other ones.
How many?
We can get rid of the other ones. This is all I will need. I wanted something specific to camera gear.
To see 4 huge, nice camera bags and to buy another one just didn't feel right. It just felt excessive.
Buying an Xbox when yours still works felt a little excessive.
Yeah. I got an Xbox 360. I should just be playing that still too.
Anyway, let's not have a domestic argument on our live stream.
So thank you guys so much. To get to do this for a living is such a gift, and all the effort that goes into the content is so worth it only because I know you guys are going to watch it and appreciate it. To have an audience, I'm so grateful for that and for you guys. And I really feel indebted to you constantly. This is how I feel about it. I have to keep pushing harder and harder to make the best content possible to give back to you guys for letting me be able to do this, letting us be able to do this. That's how we feel. And it's not the other way around where I know you guys want to thank me. I feel like I should be thanking you much, much more. And with all the super chats, you can see why too. It's very sweet that you do that.
Thank you, Simply Astro. Yeah, it's special to be able to do this and share it with such a large and amazing community too. I think that's special. The Astro World community it's so kind, and it's so it's very encouraging, and I love that. And we get to share what we do with you, which is extra special. And so
it's a win-win,
yeah.
Right? If we get to keep going, and hopefully we will get to do this for the long haul, I think it's better for everyone. So yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And we hope that you have a wonderful holiday wherever and however you celebrate, and take some time for yourself to just enjoy being with friends and family, and some time to regenerate and recharge over the holidays.
Yeah. And hopefully you get maybe a clear night over the Christmas break to do some Astro. Historically, that's never the case.
A lot of people are getting gear, so I doubt.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Clear skies, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We'll match the donations to give it to the Humane Society where we adopted Rudy. And we wanted to get a picture with a big check outside with Rudy.
Yep.
They don't do that.
So I just have pieces of paper from last year. So maybe we'll have to take our own picture.
But yeah, so just know you're supporting the dogs, hoping to get homes at just like Rudy.
Yeah.
He's snoring.
He's snoring again. Yeah.
Clear skies,
anyway,
everybody.
Thanks,
Happy
everybody.
holidays.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.